Well, welcome to Hamilton County Coaches Show, and today I got alongside me Brian McCauley, the coach of the Noblesville Millers. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you, Perry. Appreciate it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Millers. This is a little bit different look of all team this season. You have a lot of new faces, and you have some players that when reading the articles and stuff that have worked very hard this summer. So let's talk about some of these players and maybe some of those JV players that you may be bringing up during the season or progressing real well.
Sure. We had a great summer. Our guys put in a lot of work during this summer in the gym, in practice, in the weight room, playing games, going to team camp. So it was a productive summer. We needed that. As you mentioned, we had a lot of JV guys that are now expecting to get varsity minutes. And so we're going to lack some experience to begin with. So we're going to have to really learn on the fly. And practices have been productive. They've grown, they've improved. But now games will starting tomorrow, and we'll really see where we're at and how we react to stress and adversity and chaos of a game. And really, it'll be a growing experience each and every day in practice and in games. A few of those faces, last year, Jordan Schmidt was our starting point guard on our JV team, and we expect him to be a leader for us this season. Xavier Hines had some varsity minutes last year. At the end of the season, he did really well. He stepped in, started his first game against Indianapolis Tech, played really well. We expect him to be a great leader for us this year as a junior, and he's done a solid job. Zach Johnson, he suffered concussion last year, missed a lot of minutes, but we expect him to continue to provide some offense and defense for us. He had a really solid summer. Alex Hancock, Ian Gibbons, Jerron Uree, all those are juniors. And we had a move in, Riley Vitalis. He's a senior guard for us. He's been improving, and he'll add some depth for us. And then Ryan Barnes, of course, we all know from football, he really provided some solid minutes for us last year and did a really good job this year in football. He ran into some injuries, unfortunately, which slowed him up. But we're excited that he's playing, and he offers some defense and rebounding and some confidence and just composure for our team. Egan Keever-Hill has done a really nice job. He was a forward for us last year on our JV team, and he stepped up, and he's been practicing well lately. Then we have some sophomores that have grown. Brendan Fisher played on our freshman team last year. He's had a great summer of development. And Jordan Gaddis is another sophomore, and Alex Hunt is another sophomore. All three of those guys have done a nice job of improving, and they'll be right there competing for some JV and varsity minutes. So that's kind of the guys that have really stepped up, and we're excited about their development, and it's going to be a growing process all season.
You know, Coach, the one thing about it is, it's going to be a growing process, but when you play in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference, it doesn't get any easier, though. I mean, it's tough basketball top to bottom. A lot of great teams here, and of course, you play a really great you play a lot of great teams. So it's going to be interesting this season. But let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you do that on the off season, because I know let me make sure. The month of June, you get your players basically just like, and it's treated just like a regular season, really, for a month?
It is, yeah. So June and July are completely open, and you can have practice and games and lift. So it's a great opportunity to improve and grow and improve as a team. And really, you need that because you only have about 2.5 weeks once official practice begins until your first game, and that's not enough time to cover everything you need to cover. Offense versus the 1-2-2, offense versus the 2-3, offense versus the trap, full court, base out of bounds, side out of bounds, box and one, triangle and two. Then not to mention all your defenses. So there's just a lot to cover and a lot to throw at kids, and so that's why you have to use June and July the best you can to install and put some of those things in. So we had a good base, I think, a good foundation, but we've thrown a lot at them the past couple weeks, and so a lot of the guys they're on information overload, but they're doing a solid job, and I think we're improving on some of the things we want to do. But June and July are great months and very intense months in Indiana high school basketball now for coaches and players' families and coaches' families.
Now, Coach, do all the players or just a few of the players go play AAU ball after that, or is AAU ball during some of the high school?
The way AAU is structured, it really picks up in the spring while school's still in session, and then it really shuts down in June because everyone is busy with high school basketball, and then it really picks back up in July. So most kids are playing in the spring, and then they really go hot and heavy in July. So that's kind of how AAU is structured, and it works out pretty well because June is AAU is pretty non-existent in June, and it's all focused on improving your high school team and program.
But it's a pretty good tool because your players get, well, the way AAU's set up, you can't have more than 3 of your high school players on the same team. Is that right? 3 or 4?
Yeah, that's right. 3.
3. So it gives your players opportunity to play with other people. I would think that'd be a great advantage.
AAU's fine. I kind of jokingly say it's not AAU, it's AA&E.
Yeah.
AAU is all about the individual,
yeah.
And it's about, so that I can be seen, so that I can get exposure, so that I can get a college scholarship, so that I can do this. And so those are all fine. Those are all great things, and that's the way most college coaches are doing it now because they're not in season. So they go and they recruit in the spring, they recruit in July, and that's when a lot of college scholarships are offered. But when it's all said and done, when you get into the high school season, it's really all about the team and the program. And so you have to have a mind shift a lot of times. I think it's not about how much I'm averaging and how much exposure I can get. It's about, is my team being successful and how are we doing? And then a lot of college coaches still communicate with the high school coaches, and they say, hey, how does he practice on a daily basis? How does that player react in adversity? How does that player respond when it's a long season? Does he keep practicing well? Is he coachable? How does he fit in with teammates? And when the going gets tough, can he really work through that? Because AAU, you might practice once or twice a week, and then you play. You just play and you play and you play. And that's fun, but that's not really how basketball is. You got to practice. You're going to practice a lot to get better, and that's where the grind starts, and that's where the grind happens. And so most kids just simply want to play, and we understand that. But high school is, I think, a little bit more realistic as far as what you experience at the college level, as far as intensity and the process of practicing. But don't get me wrong, in AAU, there's some high-level AAU teams and high-level AAU players out there for sure, and they're awfully good.
Yeah. And it gives your athletes the opportunity to play against some of those too. So, we'll open it up tomorrow night, right?
We are. Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about. You got Northwest tomorrow night, right?
We do.
And then Columbus East, and then you play against Fishers and Carmel. So right away with Fishers, you're starting in that Hoosier Crossroad Conference and against a team that's got a new basketball coach too.
Right. Yeah. As you mentioned and alluded to earlier, our schedule is very demanding, and it's a very good schedule that prepares us to play in our sectional at the end of the year. We're battle tested. We open up with Northwest tomorrow. That's going to be a tough test. They'll be very athletic, very quick. We're going to have to defend well, be sound offensively, take care of the basketball, all those little things and the fundamentals we're going to have to do. And then after tomorrow night, we've got to come back, we've got to learn, we've got to have a good practice on Friday and Saturday, and have a great week of practice in preparation for Fishers. Because Columbus East is in the state finals on Friday night, so our Columbus East game has been moved to December 2nd.
Okay.
So our second game will be against Fishers, and it'll be on the road, and it'll be our first HCC contest, and Fishers will be athletic, and they'll have a new coach as well, so I'm sure things are new for those kids. But hopefully we can have our kids ready, prepared, and confident. And we want to get off to a good start, however, tomorrow, and be focused.
How much does it change your approach? I mean, like Fishers with Coach Leonard there for so long and everything. We are so close here, Hoosier Crossroad Conference, so you can see the teams play quite often, even if you're not or send a scout there. So how difficult is it? much more difficult to prepare for a new coach and a new style?
It's a little different. Usually, you can look at last year's game film, and then you can also scout the games that they've already had. So that's what we'll have to do for Fishers. They will have played 2 games that we can scout prior to our game, so we'll go to both of those games and get a good feel for their personnel and their style and what they do offensively and defensively. So we're looking forward to that. Matter of fact, tonight I'll be headed to Lawrence Central to scout Fishers. So looking forward to that. And our assistant coaches then will be heading to other places. Scouting is kind of a fun aspect of it. It gives you a chance to think about what their strengths and weaknesses are and what our strengths and weaknesses are, and get a game plan together and go out there and try to execute it. So it'll be a little unique this year preparing for Fishers. Coach Leonard, I think, was there 9 or 10 years,
yes.
So they'll have probably a new style and a new look. So we will figure that out and try to put together a game plan to be successful.
Well, Coach, I appreciate, I know you got practice here pretty quick. I appreciate you taking time out. And during the season, we want to do this every week or two, whatever you would like to do, because I like this conversation this way much better than I do after a game, because you have so many demands on you of newspaper people and talking to your players and everything. I think the people will get a lot more out of it if we do it this way. So I appreciate you taking time out here today to discuss this, and we'll be getting back and we'll be setting up a date and start doing this on a weekly or every 2-week period, whatever's best for you.
That sounds great. I appreciate the opportunity, Perry, to talk. It's fun. Love talking basketball and about the Millers. So a lot of fun. We're looking forward to the season, as everybody is. It's an exciting time. Any high school basketball, there's nothing better. The atmosphere, the gym, the popcorn, the fans, the games. It's a lot of fun. And hopefully our guys will come out, we'll play hard, and we'll represent Noblesville Millers really well. And these guys are hungry, and we will, like I said, it'll be a growing process for us, and we're looking forward to starting that here in practice and then continuing tomorrow in our first game.
Well, thanks a lot, Coach, and for Perry Williams and Hamilton County TV, the Coaches Show, and Brian McCauley talking to me today. Next week on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be down in Southeastern and Fishers and be talking to both those coaches. So just making my rounds through Hamilton County talking to high school basketball coaches. So I'll see you next week.
Thanks, Perry.
Thank you.